Level 1, trash, accidental chaos. Every story of morality begins here, the bottom rung, where good intentions go to die in confusion. This is the level of people who want to help, but don't think past the first move. Their hearts might be soft, but their hands cause chaos. They donate to the wrong causes, defend the wrong people, or fix problems they barely understand. In their minds, they're saviors. In reality, they're wildcards. This level is where kindness becomes performance. Someone gives to charity for social media likes, volunteers for credit, or fights injustice only when the camera's on. Their actions are loud, emotional, and short-lived. They love the idea of being good, not the responsibility that comes with it. Think of reckless revolutionaries who start fires for change, or influencers preaching peace while living off outrage. The result is destruction wrapped in good PR. Their moral compass spins with whatever trend points north that day. They're dangerous not because they're evil, but because they don't know they could be. History remembers many at this level. Idealists who launched uprisings without plans. Reformers who caused famine while trying to feed the poor. Trash-level morality is chaos wearing a halo. It burns bright, then collapses under its own noise. They mean well, sometimes desperately so, but the road to hell has always been paved by people who just wanted to do something. Level 2. Bad, self-justified harm. Now we reach the level where the mask of goodness starts to crack. Here, people do wrong, but they tell themselves it's right. They hurt others, lie, manipulate, or destroy, all while whispering, it's for the greater good. This is the realm of rationalized harm. Every dictator who claimed to build order through oppression lived here. Every corporate leader who sacrifices workers for efficiency. Every parent who breaks a child for discipline. These people weaponize morality itself. The danger isn't in their intent, it's in their logic. They see morality as a scoreboard, and as long as their outcome looks noble, the methods don't matter. In their minds, evil isn't evil if it serves a purpose. That's why regimes justify censorship for safety, or why some religious extremists justify violence for purity. It's not chaos anymore. It's control wrapped in reason. Psychology calls this moral disengagement, the ability to detach guilt from harm. And the higher the stakes, the more seductive it becomes. History is full of them. Inquisitors, conquerors, corporate manipulators, ideologues. They sleep well at night because they believe the ends absolve the means. At this level, evil wears a suit, speaks politely, and believes in its own righteousness. It's not about destruction, it's about rewriting morality to fit the mission, and that's far more dangerous than chaos ever was. Level 3. Pragmatic Morality. Welcome to the middle, the level where good and evil start sharing a coffee. Pragmatic morality isn't about virtue, it's about survival. People here understand both sides of the moral spectrum and pick whichever works best for the situation. It's the politician who compromises values for a deal, the soldier who does what's necessary to save his unit, the citizen who stays silent to protect family. They're not cruel, they're realistic. Every choice is weighed by consequence, not idealism. And in many ways, that makes them the most human of all. History runs on this level. Every treaty, alliance, and uneasy peace is built by people who learn to dirty their hands for a cleaner tomorrow. Machiavelli called it the art of necessary evil. Pragmatic morality builds nations and breaks them in equal measure. The good side of this level is effectiveness. These are the people who get things done when purists freeze. The dark side is corrosion. The line between compromise and corruption blurs fast. A general starts bending rules to save lives, and before long, he's just rewriting them to save face. Level 4. Okay, the moral gray. Here's where the story gets interesting. The line where good and evil meet in negotiation. The moral gray isn't about balance for its own sake. It's about awareness. People at this level understand that every choice has a cost, and pretending otherwise is just moral laziness. They're the judges, diplomats, and everyday people who live in compromise. They weigh consequence before conviction, empathy before ego. When they choose to help, it's not because it feels good, it's because it matters. They know life doesn't hand out clean victories. Someone always loses even when everyone wins. This is where moral complexity lives. Think of those who refused to fight unjust wars but still defended their nations. Whistleblowers who broke laws to protect truth. Doctors in triage deciding who lives first. It's the level where morality becomes arithmetic, a ledger of pain and protection, written in hesitation and doubt. But it's also where humility begins. The moral gray isn't about apathy, it's about accountability. The best people here don't justify, they reflect. They question their motives constantly because they know even good deeds cast shadows. They understand that righteousness without reflection becomes tyranny. And that's what separates them from hypocrisy. They don't pretend to be perfect. They just try to make the next wrong a little smaller than the last. If pure good burns too bright and pure evil consumes, moral gray is the twilight, steady, uncertain, and painfully real. It's not the absence of light, but the wisdom to see in half darkness. Level 5. Good, consistent integrity. This is where intention meets discipline. People at this level aren't defined by emotion or convenience. They're defined by choice. They do the right thing especially when no one's watching. Not for applause, not for heaven, just because it's right. These are the teachers who stay after hours, the journalists who risk careers for truth, the rescuers who dive into danger without waiting for orders. Their morality isn't reactive, it's habitual. They've built their lives on principles they actually live by. What makes this level so rare is endurance. Goodness here isn't dramatic, it's patient, often invisible. It survives cynicism, exhaustion, and temptation. The truly good don't shout about values, they embody them quietly until others follow. Level 6. Great, selfless virtue. Now we step into rare air, the level of moral giants. People here don't just act from goodness, they become it. Ego fades, compassion expands, and even power bends under principle. This is where moral vision meets wisdom. Think of those who forgave their enemies and built peace from ruin. Those who stood between oppressor and victim with nothing but conviction. People like them shift the moral gravity of the world. At this level, goodness isn't reactive, it's generative. Their presence changes others. You walk away from them wanting to be better, not because they told you to, but because they made it look possible. Their calm cuts deeper than any speech, their humility more commanding than authority itself. Their strength is restraint. They understand justice without cruelty, forgiveness without weakness. They can see into the hearts of both sinner and saint and treat both with empathy. Great moral leaders don't fight evil with hate. They dissolve it with understanding. But this level demands sacrifice. It often costs comfort, reputation, or even life. Yet they accept it willingly because they've realized the point of virtue isn't survival, it's legacy. What they build lasts beyond them. Laws, movements, hope. Greatness here isn't measured in praise, but in peace left behind. When they die, the world feels lighter, even if only for a while. And though history remembers their names, their true work is written in the silence they leave, the quiet transformation of hearts they never even met. Level 7. Goat, pure light. This is the summit, moral transcendence, the level beyond human balance, where good and evil no longer battle. At this stage, there is no duality, only understanding. Pure light isn't about perfection, it's about unity. Those who reach it see no enemies, only ignorance. They no longer act for good, they are good. Their compassion becomes instinct, their presence dissolves conflict, and their silence carries more peace than 1,000 speeches. It's the realm of saints, sages and awakened minds who embody unconditional love without agenda. At this level, morality stops being a system and becomes a reflection of truth itself. These souls live in total harmony with conscience, untouched by ego, ambition, or reward. Every action becomes a teaching. Every still moment becomes a mirror for others to see themselves clearly. They can forgive the unforgivable, not because they excuse it, but because they see through it. To them, evil isn't an opposite. It's a wound waiting to be healed. And that's why their influence survives centuries. Their words outlast empires because they touch something universal, the possibility of purity inside imperfection. Few ever reach this level fully, but even glimpsing it, through compassion, through stillness, through surrender, reminds us what humanity could be if it stopped fighting itself. Pure light doesn't blind, it reveals. It shows what's always been there beneath fear, pride, and pain. And for a brief, silent moment, standing in it, you finally understand what every level below was reaching for all along. And that's every level of good and evil explained. From chaos disguised as kindness to the quiet brilliance of pure light, every step on this scale shows how fragile morality really is. No one lives on just one level. We rise and fall every day, depending on the choices we make when no one's watching. Good and evil aren't destinations, they're directions. The goal isn't to be perfect, it's to keep climbing. So, which level do you think humanity spends most of its time on? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.